Okay, I thought I would show off my sorcerer character that I'm playing through the game again with Bart. Let me travel to Orlando to kill some very dangerous Silver Knights with my awesome Moonlight Greatsword I just acquired, and some spells that I've been using. Some tips and tricks. Here's my guy. Kind of awesome. She is very hollowed. 99. This is as high as it goes, which means I, early in the game, agreed to get some free early levels, and now I'm paying the price by having this hideous undead visage. But it's fixable. For a mere 270,000 souls, I can fix this. I just don't know if I want to grind that many souls just to look pretty. I had this awesome hat that I was wearing, and its stats, magic resistance at least, is a little bit better by a couple points. But I don't like how it clips my new sword through. Bugs me. So I'm wearing a hat that doesn't do that and has also pretty good stats and looks pretty sharp. But now I have to look at my dumb face. So here's the sword. It is the Moonlight Greatsword. I have it up to +3. I had enough ingredients to get +3. It's got a really high scaling on... I'll move the cursor down to show you. Strength is an E, so not great, which is fine because I have only a strength of 17. It's only that high to use the sword, actually. That's the minimum requirement. Or 16, I guess it was. And then B for intelligence, so pretty high scaling on that, and I have a 60 in intelligence, which is actually only that high because the scaling on this court sorcerer staff is an S, and it goes very high. So my spells with my court sorcerer staff in my other hand are very powerful. So let me show you some spell work. I will first become invisible. And here's a big spell I got here. Oops. There's closer. Boom, look at that. And the swing of my great sword finishes them off. Alright. Whoa, let's roll out of that. Now, watch this. 2 hands. That's the charge attack. Or, not the charge attack, the magic attack. This Moonblade. Takes a little bit of focus points, aka the blue mana bar on top there. But it's devastatingly powerful. Did 700 damage to that guy almost. I'm out of focus points again. So I'm going to drink this. Now, this is two-handed. I had to wield it two-handed to do that. Because if I have my staff in my hand, that same button that does the cool magical charge with that sword, which is the, if you look at the explanation, where's that at? I look at the explanation again. I can't remember now. Let's go to weapons. Weapons. Show item info. So you see the charge strong skill, Moonlight Vortex. Draw back and thrust forward. That's the skill for this sword. I can only do it with 2 hands because if I have my other hand holding this, then I do the steady chant, which boosts sorcerers for a short period of time. Meaning this. See? Which is awesome, but if I want to charge my sword, I have to put it in my other hand as well. Okay, so, however, there is another thing that this sword can do, besides hitting for like a ton. The weapon specs on it are like a 500 points of attack power with this thing equipped. I can do this. Oh shoot. See, I had that stupid thing equipped. Let's heal. Alright, both hands. 700 damage. And... oh god. Okay, let's do this. With one hand, it's vertical. Shoot. Well. I died. Well, alright, that's fine. I don't care. Alright, let's try it again. I think I just got this sword last night, so I'm kind of still playing with it. I think with two-handed, the charge attack fires a kind of a vertical, but that's a horizontal streak, two-handed. So I wonder if vertical's better going up. Honestly, the problem is this slope is the problem. This is this slope. So I'm going to... And I wasn't invisible. I did it again. I had it in both hands. In one hand, I mean. Ah! These guys are really dangerous also. That's why I'm playing against them. I got my souls back, but I don't really care about that. Death has no meaning in this game, honestly. The only thing is funny. Most people think Dark Souls is like really this hardcore game where if you die, it's like really terrible. But nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Enemies all respawn, and you lose your souls. But you can just walk over and pick them back up again. Everything else gets reset. All right, let's do this. Let's cheat a little bit. Now I'm invisible. Haha. Now I have both hands, so I can do this cool thing. Boom! And a heavy attack to follow it up. Okay, let's try it again. Yeah! Ooh. Well, that's alright. A light attack finished him off. Alright. I'm not embered anymore, which means I can't be invaded by the players, but also means I lose 30% of my extra bonus health. Alright, so let's put this in my other hand to go invisible again. Let's put my homing soul mass on. And let's just soul spear this guy. And one single swing. Wha-cha! 300 damage. It's pretty good for a quick swing. And there we go. Anyway, that's a quick look at my character, my wizard. Wizard slash greatsword fighter, I guess now. What I was using for most of the entire game was this. I had a rapier. It was a fire rapier for a while there, and that was where'd it go? Here it is. Crystal Sage's rapier. This was my weapon for a long time. And this thing is nice because you can like really poke guys with it. And it doesn't take a lot of stamina. And it has some other cool abilities too. Its special magical power ability was Stance, which you could like kind of do some crazy stuff with. But I never did. Unlike the Moonlight Greatsword, I didn't want to learn how to be really good at dexterity fighting. I just wanted to have a good weapon, good way to poke guys who got too close to me when I was shooting spells at them. So now I have this greatsword. I do have here a simple mail breaker. I applied a simple gem to it. Simple gems regenerate focus points. It's really subtle and hard to see because it's very slow. But if you look in the upper corner in the blue bar, it's actually regenerating. I did it already one tick. I'm slowly getting my FP back without having to do anything but walk around. So for any time I'm walking around or waiting for something to happen, I can flip over to my mail breaker, which not only is that handy for getting my FP back, but the mail breaker is a very fast weapon. So if I'm in a corridor or someplace that the greatsword can't swing very well, I can switch over to the mail breaker. That's my plan. In fact, let's run over back to the Firelink Shrine where the blacksmith is at. And let's have him upgrade that, because I've got quite a few materials for the early game upgrades. So there's no reason not to just give that thing more damage. Also, simple weapons scale off intelligence, so I've kind of changed the Mailbreaker's innate nature, so to speak. So now let's see how it does magical damage, and it scales off dexterity, strength, and if I move my cursor down here, it scales off strength, dexterity, and intelligence a little bit. And every time I bump it up from to +1, it's gonna make those jumps even bigger. And I have plenty of shards for the +1 to +3 that it takes. So we can see that that's And I have large Titanite shards, quite a few of those. And I don't want to use any Titanite chunks because I need those for, I think, you know what, I guess I don't really need these for anything now. Because the my fire rapier is what I was going to kind of use them for. And I should get my fire rapier up a little bit, just in case I'm fighting against enemies that fire damage is good against, for having that as an option in my backpack. But I probably won't use them as much as I'm going to use this mail breaker because it regenerates magic. So let's go ahead and upgrade that to a higher level. So, I mean, if you look at my stats, you'll see my attack power in my right weapon is 272. That's the mail breaker, and 500 is the greatsword. Obviously, a significant drop in power, but very, very useful. So, I like it. I'm going to keep that. Alright, so there you go. I've got a couple cool spells. Actually, quite a few powerful spells. I've got spells that create a swarming mass of soul around me that like fire anything that comes near me. I can enchant weapons, although the greatsword, the mailbreaker, the fire rapier, they've already been enchanted by the blacksmith, so I can't re-enchant them with this spell. I can cast chameleon to look like a thing in the environment, or invisibility. Light. I can create a pestilent mist that does a lot of damage to enemies if they don't move, which is actually kind of fun in some ways. Spook makes me hard to hear and it prevents fall damage. The twisted wall of light distorts light and deflects magic back to the caster. Here's some spells I don't really use because I'm not a pyromancer, but there's like engulfing your foes in flames and iron flesh and emitting force, lightning blades and spears, all kinds of stuff. That I have. There's actually a couple vendors in here selling a lot of spells I've never even looked at because I don't have the stats for them. I'm a mage. Alright, well anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick look at my character and Dark Souls 3.